YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with some more 2020 record predictions. This video for the Detroit Lions, going game by game for every single NFL team. We did the AFC East, the AFC North, the NFC East. Now we're on to the NFC North. Next will be the AFC South, and we'll get through every single team. Trying to reach that 50K subscriber goal. We're right there. Really appreciate the support. Please subscribe to both of our channels there, and you're going to want to follow that Twitter. After I get through a division, I post a poll. You guys vote for who wins that division. We'll circle back for the wild card spots. You guys are basically creating a video for the future there. So we already did the polls for some of those divisions, and the AFC North one is up right now as of recording this. So any link that you need will be down below in the comments and description, including our podcast that is on Apple and Spotify. Using playoffpredictors.com to make these predictions, going game by game here. Pretty cool. So you can go check it out yourselves, make your predictions, come back to the comments, let me know what you got. The Detroit Lions. Here's the tough part with the Lions here is I think, looking at the NFC North teams, I think they're all pretty even in terms of evaluating their rosters as a whole. And they're not. None of them are really separating themselves in a positive way or negative way. The situation with the Lions is, well, a couple things. Staying healthy. You look at, Stafford. He was playing hurt the last few years, it felt like, and then last year, the injury kind of caught up with them. They had to, obviously pull him, and that kind of cost the season there. And then you have Kerryon Johnson, who keeps getting injured, but yeah, obviously you had DeAndre Swift, so it's a pretty good duo. Marvin Jones with that. The receiver unit feels kind of thin. It seems like a pretty good receiver group until it kind of gets beat up, so it ends up being Kenny Golladay for the most part. And then you look at the offensive line, some questions there, some new faces. I think Big V's going to play right tackle. You look at the defensive side, no Darius Slay. Defense really struggled late last year, and we'll see how it is this year for the Lions here. But I think a balanced roster. It's just about staying. Do they have the impact players like the other teams? They do have the Stafford, the Kenny Golladay. But do they have the amount of impact players the other division has? So. Starting with Week 1 against the Bears, I actually have them pulling this one off. Home against the Bears Week 1. If this was in Chicago, I'd probably go with the Bears. But the Lions get it done here. Then we got in Green Bay. I'll have the Packers winning that one in Week 2. In Week 3 against the Cardinals, I like the Cardinals for this year. They went this team. Both these teams tied last year. We saw that early on last year. So now we get to see a winner here. I'm going to go with the Cardinals at home. I think this being in Arizona, I think Kyler Murray takes the next step. I think Cliff Kingsbury takes the next step. I think a lot of pieces do as well. The Saints at the Lions. This is one of those ones. This is one of those sneaky wins the Lions could pull off here. I think we see them get one or two early in the year. Every year feels like. That we don't really expect because of the Lions. But realistically, it's a pretty good team early in the year because everyone's healthy. We start to see even when people are healthy, we start to see some inconsistencies down the stretch of the season. I don't know if it has to do with where. I'm not really sure, but it just seems to happen every single year. And you got two pro-style offenses playing each other here. This is the one the Lions can sneak out. The Saints are better than the Lions, but this is definitely one of those games. We see the Saints kind of lose a random one early in the years as well, every year as well. So this is just kind of a gut feeling here. But again, the Lions are pretty solid early in the year because they're healthy, they're consistent. Get the bye week, pretty early bye week. You wish it was kind of in the middle here. And then you got the Lions at the Jags. Take the Lions in that one. In Atlanta, it's a tough one. It can go either way here. This would probably be a shootout game. I'll take the Falcons at home. Colts at Lions here in Week 8. Colts could start to be heating up, a little bit because they're adjusting to the new quarterback, some new faces. But that doesn't mean they're going to win every game down here, It's still, it's halfway through the season. I'm going to take the Lions at home against Colts. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good matchup there. I think another high-scoring game. I'll take the Lions in that one. Lions and the Vikings. I will take the Vikings in this one. The Vikings seem to be playing pretty well against the Lions last few years against Stafford. Redskins Lions here, definitely taking the Lions. I think pass rush could affect Stafford. It could affect him, but your main concern is hopefully he's not taking too many hits and he's not getting injured, really. But it doesn't, in a way, a dominant pass rush doesn't make Stafford really play bad. It's not one of those quarterbacks where a pass rush is going to be the difference in him playing good or bad. It's just not one of those situations. You just worry about the health a little bit. So the Redskins being mainly a pass rush team, it's not really going to take a bunch of points off the board for the Lions there. So I think it's a good matchup for the Lions. The Panthers game here. Yeah, see, this is a tough stretch to schedule. I'm going to take the Lions in the Panthers game, but I started to look ahead here. This is tough. You look at the Lions, who finished last in this division, this is a tough stretch here. And you kind of go back, the health at the end of the season, the consistency at the end of the season, the coaching kind of folds at the end of the season. So this is where you worry a little bit. Another, probably a shootout game. I'll take Deshaun Watson in the shootout game here Thursday. This is Thanksgiving game. It's a Thanksgiving game. That could go either way. We'll come back and do best case scenario. We're still above 500, but I just don't like the way this looks going forward here. In Chicago, I had the Lions winning the first game, of course. The Bears could beat them twice realistically as well with their defense, and then their offense should have got better. Packers, Lions, they could split. This one's in Detroit. Crunch time for the Packers. The opposite for the Lions here, the way they play. I'm going to take the Packers in Tennessee. The Titans are a good team, complete team here. This is really tough. Taking the Titans here. Buccaneers, this is when the Bucs are going to be kind of in their prime heading into playoffs, really adjusting. I'm going to take the Bucs. I just don't like the way the Lions have been matching up with the Vikings. The Vikings have been getting tremendous pass rush on Matt Stafford, and their offense seems to be able to score. It seems like Kirk Cousins really thrives against the Lions. Darius Slay was kind of only that problem. Get around Darius Slay. He's not there anymore. Take the Vikings there. So you end the year with, and we're going to circle back here, do best case. We're going to end the year with how many losses here? Is that 6 in a row? Maybe, you know what? Maybe some of the ones I'm back and forth on. I'm still with the 6 wins, though. I'm kind of in this range, 11, 12. The Panthers really, Matt Rule can start getting things up here. Could win here. Thanksgiving, maybe the Lions win the shootout against Texas. Maybe they have the better defense. So these are ones you can flip for sure. I'm kind of more feeling that right now. So this is kind of the record predictions before the season. We're going to predict every game. You're kind of back and forth on a lot. In season, very accurate last year. I thought we were. So I think going week by week is what I'm saying is, you can really identify the matchups because matchups can be different each week. But yeah, that's tough. I just don't see them losing this many games really late, but you look at the way they've been playing late with the health, the inconsistency at Chicago, Green Bay, at Tennessee, and then the Tampa Bay team that's going to be really getting good, and the Vikings team I just don't like the way they match up with, really, and a team that's pretty similar. So 6 and 10 after starting pretty decent, so it's tough. It's tough. Going back, best case scenario, what could they could win both these games here. Maybe they get one on the Packers. Maybe they get one on the Vikings. So we're already bumped at the 9-7. Don't forget, I did have them beating the Bears week 1. I did have them beating the Saints, too. So we had them going 6 and 10 while beating the Saints, which they'll be the underdog there. I don't know if I want to. For keeping this one, I don't think I want to switch these. They could beat the Lions here. I did have them beating the Colts. They could go 10 and 6. I don't know if I'm really seeing it. I'm seeing kind of the 6 to 9 range. Again, they do have the Packers, Bears, Vikings really aren't that much better than them. It's just they got to prove to me, and I don't like basing things off the past, which I'm kind of doing here a little bit. It's just because it's just every single year it seems like, but I don't really like to do that. This is a pretty complete team. It's just stay healthy, prove to me that you can finish the season, and I can believe in this team. I definitely can. If I think that what's important here is starting. So let's flip some of these back first. I had the Falcons here. I think I ended up going with this. I had the Packers still here. I had the Vikings. Yeah, so I had 6 and 10. It's that last part. We can't ignore that. That last 12 weeks, 12 through 17, that is tough. So they're gonna have to dominate early. When you're healthy, when you're consistent, when you know when you're at your best, you're gonna have to come in against Chicago week one, which I'm sure the Bears will be the favorites here. You're gonna have to win that game. You're gonna have to come in there. They're gonna have that's week one. You can't have any takeaways from week one. Random things happen, but at the same time, this is just every game's a must win for everybody. But starting this one, this has to be a win. It's just one of those where it's just you got to start the year with a win here. You have to. Home against Chicago. It'd be a shame if there was no fans for them. If that happens, I don't know if that's going to happen. That'd be a shame. Actually, they'll have to play in Soldier Field down here with their fans. So you're going to have to, and one of these Cardinals, between the Packers, Cardinals, and Lions, you're going to have to win, at least one of those games. You're going to have to execute in the games you expect to win. Games like the Jags, games like the Lions, or the Redskins. So that's the tough part here. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Again, looking at the roster, they feel like better than, I realize I scrolled down that a little bit, better than 6-10 teams. So, I think it's just proving to the world that you can stay healthy and consistent down the stretch. Stafford, hopefully he's all right. I think playing hurt in the past, kind of caught up on him. So we'll see. They're pretty confident. I think he'll stay healthy. It's mainly the consistency down the stretch here, and this is it really for both. I would say Patricia, but both him and Bob Quinn here. So we'll see what happens with the Lions here. Let me know your guys' thoughts, your predictions in the comments. Please click that like button. We're going through every single team. You're going to want to subscribe to both channels. Follow that Twitter. Check out the podcast. That's going to do it, though, for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.